Alright everybody, let's take a look at what I did for better or for worse on Friday. Here we have a 1991. This generation ran from 87 to 91. This is a 91 F-250 XLT Lariat with a four-speed manual with an overdrive fifth, and we got reverse there. So we just recently closed on 40 acres of land. We needed a work truck and we needed it cheap. So I went to Facebook Farkle Place and I got a cheap truck. Like I said, well, I don't know if I said this yet. I'm just gonna say it. This was $900. This is what you get. From a 2-star seller who was an hour and a half late to the meetup. And no, he was 2 hours late to the meetup and was a kind of difficult communicator. But let's go over some things on this. I'll just put this like that. Light control here and wiper controls. Now these have little pull-out knob things, and in the photos those knobs were there. So that's not too big of a problem. I can just 3D print some of those. But the lights work. Wipers, I'm not sure if the wipers work. Fuel selector. The switch is in there. It is. It's only got the front tank, so it's not really going to do much. I'm going to reinstall that, though, just for aesthetics. Here's our switch on the gauge cluster. Now, this generation of truck is built off of the 1980 Ford Truck Series. So a lot of this stuff is from the 70s, like designed in the 70s. So just keep that in mind. Heat, battery, oil, and gasoline. Unleaded fuel only. Now, you could still sell leaded gas in the United States when this truck was made, and especially when it was designed. Here's a relic of the past. Red mark at 55. That was the old speed limit for the highways. Kind of neat. All the gauges work totally fine, aside from the speedometer, which kind of goes like this when it's going, but that's normal for old speedometers. So I don't think it's a problem necessarily. Down here we have a switch for something and a cigarette pack holder. Funny thing is that when I bought this, there was a pack of American Spirits under the seat. It's kind of tasty. Here's a towing light thing. Obviously our shifter, which we already kind of covered that before. On here we have cruise information. The horn, I'm not going to beep it now because it's at the butt crack of dawn. No airbag here, no airbag there. Good old days. How do we get this thing started? Well, you may say, I'll put the clutch in, put it in neutral. Get the key, and then you turn it. Nope, not for a $900 vehicle. You know, this part's all the same here, but the way that you would get this started is, you see this screw up here? The Carjacker Special? Well, you just move this screw in and it would start. Now the problem with this truck is that it only starts with a jump because, and I think I've diagnosed the problem. I got up early to come work on this thing because right now it's Saturday morning and I'm not too pleased with the truthfulness of this seller because he said everything works fine in our messages. Everything does not work fine. Once it starts, yeah, everything works fine, but the problem is that it doesn't work. Also, the cats are stolen, and this is a 5.8 liter V8. This thing is loud, like really loud, and I don't really have a problem with that, but like everybody looks at you if you drive this thing, and I mean everybody. Yeah. I'll move it up, and that puts it into accessory or battery.
They're dying. It'll be like, yes.
Well, they probably have sleep apnea.
I want to get copyright strike. But some interesting things about this truck are, when I got it, this was all taken apart because he had a aftermarket radio that was ready to install. But this one is still in here. Let me put it in. This one was still in here, and the radio that he had for it was pretty nice. It was a dual, but I kind of prefer this one because you guys know me. I just kind of like stuff like this. So the radio is sitting in a box. It's actually in here. Oh wait, no, that's the dash kit. Here's the radio. So I'll do something cool with that. It's a pretty nice radio. Here's your yeah, old school. All of this stuff works fine. Kind of classic Ford controls here. Everything on this is just old school Ford. It's an aftermarket compass that is not reading correctly. Here you got tag, lighter leash. This thing needs a good cleaning. Let's move over to here. Too bad this isn't a front bench seat. F-Series Owner's Guide 91 with the old Ford seatbelt thing on it. Glove box can tell a lot about a vehicle. This is a switch communicator and interrupter for the blinkers. New in there. Blinkers work totally fine, so I don't know why that's here, but whatever. I mean, I guess it's nice to have on hand. And here we have a broken fuse and some screws. Always a good sign. Those. Bottle of oil. Let's see what kind of oil this is. Racing oil. 20 weight 50. 20 winter 50. Sorry. Just needs a good vacuuming. We got a light assembly down there. I don't know what that's from. Because all the lights on this work. So, 'tis a mystery, I guess. The back seats use lap buckles. Of course, it's got the old school Ford lined windows. Those are kind of neat. I've always been a fan of those ever since I was little. I remember seeing them. It's got these. It's kind of rad. I used those when I was driving home. Oh, lockers. Oh, there's an ant on me in here. Lock. Power windows. That's kind of nice. There's your parking brake down there. I think we pretty much covered everything back here. There's a thing that probably goes against flag code. Look at that. That's old school. So like I said, front tank and rear tank's just missing. Pretty common. Unleaded fuel only. One thing that's kind of neat about this truck is that it was sold in Keyport, New Jersey in 1990, which means that this truck has seen the Twin Towers. Pretty wild to think about. Let's look back here. Oh. Doesn't quite want to stay up now, does it? I'll replace those. Back here, it's got a bunch of racing stickers that I didn't see. Oh, some box of cigars. Here's the box for the radio. Comes with a tarp. It's kind of nice. The bed needs a little work. I can get in there and do that though. It's not a problem. Yeah, just a bunch of screws. Yeah, everything works fine. Everything works fine. I think that's maybe a license plate light hookup. Your trailer lights. Maybe this is trailer lights too. Oh, I know where. I know what these are. These things. That's what those wires in the back seat are. These are license plate lights. I bet maybe this came from back there too. I don't know. I don't know what those are. This thing has a lot of drawings on it. Alright, let's do something real quick. Oh yeah, the hood has already popped. Oops. Let me know what that is. I know what that is. I want to see if you know what that is. New battery. New alternator. But it doesn't start. It does start with a jump. And I think I know what the problem is. I think it's this thing right here. I believe this is a regulator. Neighbors probably hate me. Yeah, I believe that's the regulator. Because the battery goes into it, and so does the alternator. And the alternator doesn't charge. When I drove this thing home, it was, or it doesn't read that it's charging. It was reading 12 volts the whole time. Yeah. I topped off the coolant. Not too bad in there. Let's see. Power steering fluid isn't bad, and power steering wasn't bad either. Should probably put more oil in it, but I don't know what type is in there, so I guess I'll just go with what the manual says. Let's top it off at least. Over here, Jiffy Lube, May 92, rear differential. Here's a 5.8 liter V8 with EFI fuel injection, Ford 5. Look at that groovy font. Well, you can tell this thing was designed in the 70s. I don't know if the engine was, but the truck at least was. I think I'm going to start with maybe taking this apart and cleaning the contacts on it, and if that doesn't do anything, then I'll just replace it. This is kind of interesting looking. I wonder what this is. It goes down to a wire. Check this out too. Big snail shell thing. Poor neighbors. Well, in a matter of a couple days, they won't have to see this thing again. What is this? Oh, I bet that's for the trailer lights or something. Something taps into the battery. Probably. I think that's what that is. I'll look under it. That is an Arctic Cat brand bug deflector. Deflector shield. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. This thing will be great if I can solve that. I think it's a regulator issue. Like, if I can replace the regulator and this thing charges and starts, despite its quirks, like the screw to start it, I mean, this thing will be great. For $900, here's the key. It's kind of neat. So yeah, that'll do it.